going on, Not Move Nation? Today is October 10th, 2025 at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time. I'm here with JP Sport Talk and Chalky Charbie. We are going to break down the Denver Broncos and New York Jets game that is upcoming this Sunday. It starts at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, so I thought we'd do a short video on this game, guys. They are playing this game on artificial turf. Denver leads the all-time series against the Jets 23-18-1. Denver's won the last 6 out of 10 games against the Jets. And these teams have played on the exact date of October 12th. That's what day they're going to play on. They've played on that exact date one time in 2014, and Denver won by a final score of 31-17. I see a lot of advantages for Denver this game. I've been hearing some chirp about how the Jets are going to upset the Broncos in this game, but I just don't see it happening. I see that Denver has a good passing advantage in this game, a good rushing advantage, a slight third down conversion advantage, a big red zone conversion advantage, a big red zone attempts per game advantage, a huge sacks on the quarterback advantage, a big turnover different.
They got advantages everywhere across the board.
Yeah, man. I just do not see this upset happening. I am a little concerned about the spread. It's at -7.5. I think there was a game earlier this year where the Broncos were favored by 7.5, and it was against, I think it was week 1, if I'm not mistaken, against the Titans. Or maybe it was 8.5. I don't think the Broncos ended up covering that game, but maybe it was 8.5. Anyways, that's the way I'd be leaning in this one. Denver to cover that. Now, if you wanted to chop it to 7, obviously the lower you take that spread, the safer it is. But I mean, I still have to lean for the Broncos to win this game by 8+ points. What do you guys think? Do you think there's any way that the Jets keep it close or win the game?
Man, the Jets are kind of in turmoil, man.
Yeah.
I mean, they have kept some games close with Justin Fields and whatnot. I do like that. With them in there, I give them a way better advantage to win. But
good.
I mean, the Broncos, though, man. I mean, I know. Man, they were down 17-3 last week. Came back, gave reigning champs their first L. Made them hold on to it. Now it's been a consistent. Now they got 2 L's. So I still like the Broncos, man. Like I just think the Broncos, they're just a better team. I think the Broncos ultimately just come on out on top. Fans or butts.
Broncos probably steamroll for sure. I think the only way the cover or the spread doesn't get covered is if the Broncos allow it not to happen, basically.
Right. Yeah, JB, you mentioned Justin Fields. Obviously, that's a big part of this offense, right? The Jets offense. I got bad news for Justin Fields fans and Jets fans in this game. I'm not saying that it absolutely won't happen. I'm not saying that it's 100% fact that Justin Fields won't have a great rushing game, but the Broncos have allowed the least amount of rushing yards to quarterbacks this season, and they've played some top-tier quarterbacks, rushing quarterbacks with Jalen Hurts and Daniel Jones. Against the game in Indianapolis, the Broncos, it did lose that game, but they held Daniel Jones to 2 rushing yards off 6 carries. And then they played the Eagles, what was it, last week, the Broncos, and they held Jalen Hurts to 2 carries and 3 rushing yards. So I think there's been better spots for Justin Fields, which really limits this Jets team to trying to do a couple of other things. Running with Breece Hall against Denver's 5th-ranked rushing yards allowed per game defense, or trying to pass the ball against Denver's 8th-ranked passing yards allowed per game defense. I think, not only do they have a better shot at passing the ball against Denver, But I think that they will probably be forced to try to pass the ball against Denver, which leads me to a couple of props that I have my eye on. One of them is Breece Hall receiving yards over under 28.5. Denver allows the sixth most receiving yards to running backs, and that was before the game last night. That may have changed. They have allowed the sixth most receiving yards to running backs, and Breece Hall has gone over that line in 4 out of 5 games this season. He went over half of his games in 2024, but he's 0-3 in his career to the over against Denver. But he is the third leader in target share on this team, and he has averaged more yards per catch on turf in 3 out of 4 years that he's played in the league. So, yes, that is a consideration for those looking for a player prop. I think that I would probably rather lean towards Garrett Wilson over the 5.5 receptions. Denver has allowed the 9th most receptions to wide receivers this year. Garrett Wilson's gone over that line in 4 out of 5 games this season, only 7 out of 17 games in 2024, and he as well is 0-3 to the over on this line in career games against Denver, but he does lead this team in target share by a long shot. That would probably be the prop that I would look at for the Jets. Garrett Wilson over the 5.5 receptions, and then Breece Hall receiving yards over 28.5. Do you guys feel any type of way on who will get their yards or receptions? Do you guys think Breece Hall, gets that 29 plus receiving yards, or Garrett Wilson 6+ receptions?
Very possible, as always. But do I think they're going to do it? I don't know.
Yeah.
it could happen. It could not. I mean, that's pretty basic, right? But I think he's going to have to get his 29 yards,
Right.
What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Throw it to Arian Smith the whole game?
Right.
Get real.
Yeah.
I like the tight end, though. I don't know if you mentioned him. Sorry.
No.
Mason Taylor?
Okay.
Dude, check this out. He started the first 2 games with 1 target, 1 reception.
Yeah.
The last 3 games, he's combined for 18 receptions on 25 targets.
Damn.
In about 150 yards.
Wow.
So the first 2 games he was not doing nothing. The last 3 it's increasingly been ramped up. So I kind of like Mason Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
Reception yards here.
Yeah, I could definitely see that, Charbie.
But I don't know how the Broncos are against the tight end. I mean, dude, that defensive linebacker crew, they're savages, man. I mean,
now,
this could be a bloodbath.
Currently, the Broncos rank 12th best in receiving yards allowed to tight ends. So it looks like they're about average. So I could definitely see it happening.
Yep, could happen. But dude, basically, I think this is going to be a bloodbath, man. Now that I think about it, I feel really bad for the Jets.
Yeah.
I'm praying for a close, good game. I want to watch a good game. So,
probably my favorite player prop in this one is going to be Dobbins, and I said this last week, and he had a good game, and I'm going to say it again this week. Dobbins rushing yards over 69.5. He's gone over that in 4 out of 5 games this season. Only went over that in 5 out of 14 games in 2024, and he's never played against the Jets throughout his career. But look, the Jets rank 27th in rushing yards allowed per game and 20th in opponent rushing yards per attempt. Dobbins ranks 10th best in the NFL in rushing yards per carry. So I think he can have some big gains. Also, he's averaged more yards per carry on turf than grass in 3 out of 4 seasons that he's had. There was a season where Dobbins didn't play at all, and there was a season he didn't play on turf. So I think this is a good spot for Dobbins. And I don't know if I mentioned this, but the Jets have allowed the 7th most rushing yards to running backs this season, and that was before the game last night. Also, I think Harvey's worth consideration simply because he ranks 17th in rushing yards per attempt, which is good. So, if you're thinking about him going over that, I could see that as well. And then Bo Nix rushing yards, 21.5. the Jets ranked 10th worst to rushing yards allowed to quarterbacks. Bo Nix has gone over that in 2 out of 5 games this season, 11 out of 18 in 2024, and he went under that line in his only career game against the Jets. So out of those 3, if I had to rank them, I would go with Dobbins, which would be my favorite player prop in this game. I don't love it, but I mean, it's the spot that I like the most at any other prop in this game.
Which one is it?
Dobbins rushing yards over 69.5. And then I would, out of the Bronco props, I like that one the most. And then I'd have to lean towards probably Bo Nix rushing yards and then Harvey rushing yards.
What's Bo Nix rushing yards at?
21.5.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And the Jets ranked 10th worst in rushing yards allowed to quarterbacks. That was before the game last night. So,
do you know if the Jets bring heavy blitzing pressure? Is he going to be forced out of the pocket? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. I just didn't know if you had that right there.
Yeah, no, I don't. But yeah, that's good information. There's a bunch of good information out there. I wanted to get you guys this information so it could potentially help you with your research for this game. Like I've mentioned in previous shows, there's a lot of other good resources out there, not just within the Not Move podcast, other Not Move podcast members, but just, on the internet as a whole. So, did you guys have any other thoughts about this game?
No, not really.
Okay. What are your guys' final score predictions this game? And I know we're in a time crunch, Charbie. I know you got to get going. The over-under is 43.5, guys. Do you think it goes over that or under?
3.5? Dude, give me 32-10. Give me something like that. 32-10. A high and a low.
Jay,
33?
I think it goes under. I think it goes under. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of final score are you thinking, JB?
Like a 21-9.
Yeah. I got to go with the 31-7 final score just because they've played on that exact date one time in 2014. So I'll go with that exact same final score. I do just want to mention Cortland Sutton real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. But the Jets, they haven't been terrible at receiving yards allowed to wide receivers or receptions. But the reason why I want to mention Cortland Sutton is because he ranks 33rd in yards per catch this season, and the Jets have allowed the second most opponent yards per completion. So I think Sutton could have some big gains. And Franklin, Charbie, I know you've mentioned Franklin in a previous show. Yeah, I think he's definitely somebody to look out for. But the reason why I'm not loving those guys is because the Jets aren't specifically vulnerable to that wide receiver position. They're not great at defending it, but they're not specifically vulnerable to it, except in regards to the opponent yards per completion. But if Denver is taking care of business early and often, then in the later stages of that game, that could take away some targets from Sutton and or Franklin and just the Denver receiving corp as a whole. So, but anyways, yep.
I'm seeing an article here. It says the Broncos dismiss notion of a trap game as they face the winless Jets. And there's also an article right below it that says even the Jets are dismissing the notion of a trap game here. So give me the Broncos plus everything, please. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Did you guys have anything else left to say about anything?
No.
Good luck to the Jets.
Yeah, good luck. I just.
All right.
I don't think there's anything there, my guy. I don't think anybody else does. I don't even think the Jets think there's there.
JB and I will be live Sunday morning like we always are. Probably around 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Eastern time. So, just be on the lookout for that. We'll be breaking down all of these games on Sunday. And we look forward to seeing you guys there. If you could, please hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. But we appreciate you guys just for being here regardless. So
thanks.
Take care, everybody. Good luck. Not moved out.
I'm out.
This non-casual podcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or reused without the authorized written consent of the Not Move Podcast Network. Thank you, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.